Curly, you haven't seen this yet?
I have not.
Okay.
That's why I told him stop it when it's cringe.
Good morning, TPS students. It is testing week, and it's time to slay all day.
Yeet. Stay woke, beyond fleek, and get that Gucci breakfast.
Goals. Say bye, Felicia, to that testing stress. Weather's going to be turned, right, Chris?
Yes! Toledo weather gonna be lit during testing week. A hundo P chance of success. You've got this, kids. Steve, how about that traffic? Are we looking
Better than
That's about me right there. That's as your local extremely pale white guy. I don't see anything wrong with this video. This is just fine. This is how normal humans talk at work.
They were getting ready to try to save that by including a black man. Welcome to dkgWELP. This is the Drunk Kids Gaming Podcast. I'm King Kaz. Curly is my friend, Drunk Kids Gaming himself. And we have a great guest, friend of the show, Bryce Castillo. Bryce on Twitter, host of the Trending Lemming Podcast, producer for Night Attack.
Got the name right.
Bryce.
Oh, I have seen that video. I had not even watched that far before. And when he got to the
Well, you gave me the end it when it's cringy, and I was cringy from the beginning. I think I don't know. They could have saved that if the weather dude just slapped the shit out of the dude. That would have been the end of the perfect video. It's just been like, no, this is over.
Hi guys.
Welcome to the podcast,
what's
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeet.
What the fuck is the name of the...
I had to check with myself. I was like, did he just say yeet? That's a thing, right? People say yeet.
Yeah.
That's a like. I looked around like I was gonna have Pet Vet in the room and be like, hey, I need you to translate youngster to me because I'm not fucking getting it.
Yeah, but you do that all the time anyway. We had this discussion earlier with the throwing hands thing.
I don't know. This is the problem with having Kaz as like my close friend. Is like I don't know what is just Kaz acting like an old person saying bullshit like nail varnish, or if I know it's like a real thing that people say on the East Coast or something that apparently people say like throwing hands.
You don't know nail varnish?
I know what it is, but I haven't heard a human being, including my grandmother, say it for ever. Like, but Kaz just like casually throws it out there, like, oh yeah, I applied some nail varnish the other day. All right, Kaz.
I'm stuck in like two time periods. It's 1950s and 2020.
It's working for you, my man.
The only two places I get my vocabulary from.
I was gonna say, welcome to the podcast, Kaz. Do you want to do it?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I already did the intro, but I wanted to talk to Bryce because one, we have him on because he's our very, very good friend. But two, he has a new thing that if you have not checked it out, I want everyone in the world to go check it out, and that is the Trending Lemon Podcast. And how would you describe said podcast, Bryce?
So it's it is a very trending.
Got a lot of lemon.
You can't use the title in the description. This is a dictionary definition. This is going in Webster's.
So the original idea was that it would be an interview show where instead of interview questions, we would do BuzzFeed quizzes, which is still a part of their show. But we're also incorporating over the past month or so actual trending news topics. So we talked about the Momo challenge and how fake that was. Just this past week, we talked about the Florida man birthday meme on Twitter, where it's like you Google the day of your birth and Florida man, and you find a headline. And we kind of broke down like how that is kind of dehumanizing a little bit. And maybe not the best look, or maybe not the most appreciative thing that you can do for a state that has very transparent public record laws.
Is that why we have all the stories? Is that why we get all the fun Florida man stories?
That's right, because of the Sunshine Laws. And so, kind of breaking down things that are in social media as topics, and trying to look at them outside of, any, the BuzzFeed sort of headline. You won't believe what Florida man headline you are. Like there's context and reality to this stuff, and trying to look into that.
I think you're burying the lead here is the fact that Kaz and I have both been on this podcast.
And Kaz and Curly have both been on both. Yes. Curly was on pretty early. Kaz, we just had you on the past month or so. And they were great. They were great episodes. I really have enjoyed every episode.
I taught my good friend Bryce about the camel epidemic in Australia.
I was listening to that and I was just like, "What the fuck? This is a weird fact fucking universe that or tornado." I
had no idea, but it was very enlightening. It was a very enlightening piece of knowledge. So stuff like that you would only find from interviewing a bunch of really cool people.
So I haven't listened to these yet because I've been queuing them up for work and whatnot, and I haven't had a day where I just work. Because this is where I usually listen to them. I think I listened to Kaz's episode, and I think I listened to a lot of Jen's episodes. So that's what I'm looking at 12 or so here. All I know is the next cue on the episode is all of these have the beat on your episodes where you have a guest on and you do the BuzzFeed thing with it, and then this next episode it's just Bryce's name. So is this a solo episode where Bryce is doing his own thing?
Yes. Oh my God, this was so. We've done the quizzes. The quizzes are a big part of the show, and I wanted to understand how they work on a technical level because anybody can make them. People make them all the time. That's why they fired a bunch of fucking people because college students are making a dozen of them a week and for free. So they are somehow working.
A Raspberry Pi could make them. Like I think some of the ones that we did.
And yeah, and so I made a quiz. I wanted to make a quiz that was tied to, at the time, the big college acceptance story, where rich people had another way of paying their way into college, and I was gonna do a solo because I knew it would be quick because I was busy with South by, so I didn't have anybody booked. And so I just thought it would be like a 20-minute thing. I would go and make a quiz. What kind of sandwich you make tells us what college you could buy your way into. And so I make the quiz, I record it, it's going fine, and it publishes, and it doesn't show, the listing doesn't work. Something about it, I don't know what went wrong. I made it two different times.
What was it? Was it the common occurrence with the Bryce world is that it was just too vor? Or
no, it's not vor at all. There's no vor in it. I don't want to give people the wrong idea.
The one beat Bryce always going to vor is tricky hat trick.
Do not misrepresent. But so I made this quiz and I got so I spent over an hour trying to do it and make this quiz work. So you get to hear me get very slowly lose my mind just as I beat my head over this desk trying to get this thing to publish. So yes, there is a fluke episode up next for you.
Were you doing this all in real time on the recording of the episode?
Yeah.
I had been, and I edited it down because it ended up being over an hour. And it was mostly, at some point I was like, okay, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to remake this because I know it should work. I just did it. And
I can't wait for you to listen to it, Curly, because I was listening to it at work. I was dying, dude. People were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. It'd take too long to explain."
What was especially frustrating was that it should have been easy. This was a thing I had in my back pocket for a long time, right? Like I keep saying, hey, I'm going to make a quiz on the show.
Yeah.
This is a perfect week. I don't have any lined up. I can just do it. It'll be super quick and we'll see what this looks like. And I get to the end of it and I'm like, I don't have anything. I spent an hour doing this thing and I don't even have a quiz, a thing that people do 1 million times a day. This is the #1 website for making quizzes and it didn't work twice.
You didn't download the WordPress the template that does it for you.
Well, so...
Honestly, this is speaking to me because this is literally what my actual real life job is on the majority of my days. is that
Yeah.
I try to do a thing that I know is going to work with a certain set of parameters that I've looked up and I'm familiar with. And then 2 hours later, after being dead silent for fucking 50 minutes of them, I throw up my hands because I'm like, I have nothing to show for my existence. God damn it.
There's nothing. Yeah, you wasted all that time. And so I left it up because it is pretty funny to hear me just get mad over 20 minutes. But also, I at least do know how kind of the BuzzFeed system works a little bit. So that helps inform the show a little bit also.
Well done.
Yeah.
I can't wait to listen to the rest of these episodes. You guys should all follow this show.
It's super fun. It's a super awesome show. Bryce is like an amazing host, and he gets really good guests. Except for when he talks about esports.
Talking turn.
Sorry, unmuted.
Okay, esports. All right. Do we?
I'm mostly joking.
Oh,
I'm
please.
mostly joking.
I
Because here's the thing, right?
sure.
You brought up a lot of legitimate concerns that a lot of esports currently has.
Yeah. Okay. So
And
for a very little bit of context, we were tangentially talking about esports. We were talking about the episode of The Simpsons that just came out a month or so ago that was about esports. Bart becomes an esports player of this fake League of Legends type game. Riot Games consulted on it to like make this game look like League of Legends. And it's exactly what you would expect from a Simpsons episode about esports.
it has
and so we
nothing
did
to
talk about
actually
it.
do with esports. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just funny because you did, as like a non-viewer, you did bring up a lot of legitimate concerns as a viewer that I have that I think a lot of people missed the beat on that other games that have now fallen to the wayside have figured out. Like Counter-Strike has figured out in its commentary how to talk to the noob, right? It doesn't say things in a sense that only I, as somebody who plays Counter-Strike, can understand, right? Like a lot of what I've learned from Counter-Strike, I learned from watching tournaments.
Okay. And Counter-Strike has the benefit of being a very straightforward first-person shooter.
Yeah.
You know,
until you jump in that pool.
Well, I mean, then you can find nuance within, but the basis of the game and the way they talk about the game when the game is happening in front of you is very like, there's 2 guys left versus 3 guys.
Yeah.
They have to get the bomb down to have a chance at this round. And you're like, cool, I can understand that. They're
sense.
on the 3rd and 10 and they need 5 yards to get the first down. You know what I mean?
Like,
they need 10.
It has the
they
translation.
need 10 because they're 3rd and 10, Kaz, but okay.
Yeah. What? All right.
Thank you for bringing it into something related to how I understand sports, because I get in there and I'm like,
but no. But that's the thing, right? Is it has the translation to real sports in the language that they use, right? It's very simple. It's broken down into, you can see what you're looking at, you can hear it, and you can follow context clues, right? So somebody like Curly, who initially didn't know anything about football, coming into it, the commentary helps you understand what you're seeing, right? Because just seeing it.
I was going to compare to League, which is where I first got into any of this kind of sportsy related stuff, and I think Kaz was into it way before I was, and I'm not into it necessarily now, but there was a period of time where I was watching I was going out to bars to watch the Worlds and whatnot, because for me it was actually interesting, and my coworker, who, you know, he's more along for the lunch, but at the same time, a good commenter and a good system will allow a normal viewer to be like, I understand that there's stakes in this game, and that team is the stakes, and this team is underdog or whatever, and I can be a part of it. I can get super nuanced and be like, oh, he bought fucking Ryalize at 42 seconds, so that's
well, and that's, you know, that's kind of what I got into a little bit when we were talking about it on the Trending Lemon show, was that, you know, some of these games, just like, if we're talking about crossover mainstream success, it's very difficult. I think even something like Counter-Strike, which is very simple, and the way that the game is structured is very simple, I think would still be pretty difficult, assuming it was popular, would be sort of difficult in a mainstream set. I mean, the example that I gave was that, you know, we're going through the AAF is playing right now, the Alliance for American Football, basically the minor leagues for football. And that is the thing where like on that first weekend they had to have like a 10-minute explainer on why these 6 rules are different in American football. Like
Yeah.
So that's the hurdle in terms of like mainstream success, is having something that is, you could jump into easily enough and can be spoken enough easily. I think Counter-Strike is something that is that way. I think Overwatch could be, because Overwatch is relatively simple. But League is so visually nuanced and is very subtle. I think that is tough to talk about, and tough as someone who spent a few weeks trying to understand League, and like I had trouble playing that game.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could understand watching it.
I think the thing as a game that League has done recently to make itself more palatable, or whatever the word is, to newer players, is they've simplified everything. They've simplified all the math, right? The items thing is still something you learn as you go, but it has that recommended page, and it still can be very daunting to look at.
Yeah.
But all the other math has been simplified, because there was all the like runes and mastery stuff that was literally just math. It was like, this gives you a +2, this gives you a +3 if this happens, this gives you a -1 when this happens on a Tuesday, and you're like,
yeah, that's the complication at that point, because that's what I remember. It was like, oh wow, you these are must-haves, but that's weird. It only ups your CDR by 0.4. That doesn't seem like it would make it matter. And then you read later, and the guy's like, well, if you got the +4 from these masteries and runes, then your number 2 attack by the 4th minute in the game will be able to hit twice, and you need that to be able to get this thing in the amount of time. You're like, oh.
And the other thing is, a lot of this that we're talking about is all menu stuff. Even visually, this is hard for people to like. It's when people understand like switching players and switching teams out. But if you see someone who is like in the menu and they're clicking super fast, because that's a function of their skill, is how fast they can do all this stuff. That I think has growing pains. I think that's tough to scale.
Well,
it is.
I like referencing stuff like Overwatch, because you can really just pick up Overwatch, and as long as you don't look at the crazy shit, you're fine.
So
right.
That's my thing about like if we use those 3 games as the context clues of esports, Counter-Strike
Overwatch
lives
and Counter-Strike.
in the Overwatch, Counter-Strike, and League, right? Like League is somewhere in the middle, where they kind of have the commentators who can somewhat explain it. It's kind of visually appealing, but there is this really like nuancy shit that can lose you. And then Overwatch is very easy to watch, right? Because it's like they have to get to point A and then the point B, and they win, and you're like, okay, cool, I can understand that. But their commentators are kind of shitty.
Okay, but that's a personnel issue.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but they only kind of speak the nuance of the game. They don't really speak to the simpleton of the game.
Well, that's why
that's
why in the League world, though, the reason why they reuse the same 17 fucking casters is because they're good at showing the shit.
But Counter-Strike lives in this weird realm where it does speak to the simple, but it's not as appealing visually to look at, because it still is an older game, so it's very brown and gray and very simple blocks and stuff like that. And then only the people who are super into it watch it, and it also has a really weird tournament system rather than a league. So everything is a tournament.
I think I look at the different issues of those games, between how the commentators execute versus the structure of the games and the structure of how you spectate those. And, if the commentators are bad, that's something that is a relatively easy fix. I think it's fun. It's a fundamental part of League that, so much of it is visually nuanced, where, Overwatch can get better commentators.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Overwatch commentators, but I feel like I could say that pretty confidently.
I feel like it goes. Yeah. It's really hard to explain Dota, though. Like,
sure.
That's the difference in my opinion. Like League has for a good commentator, things to latch onto to be able to explain in a way that is understandable. But like, I think I was 10 hours into Dota when someone said, "Why don't you eat through the trees?" And I was like, I didn't know you could eat fucking trees, man. Like some weird ass fucking game,
I think one of the things that hits all the like check marks, but not enough people are into, because I don't think it in its settings has the best visual appeal as fighting games as esports. Like
Oh no,
fighting games has the
definitely do.
commentary. Fighting games that, well, I mean, the way it's always set up is it looks like it's in a basement because they're always
No, I mean,
like,
but
you know
who
what I mean?
cares what
Like,
the stadium looks like? No one cares.
People
what the
care
stadium-
about
one-
that
And
shit.
they all
No,
look
they
like
don't.
they're at
They
old
literally
folks'
don't.
home. Is that what they look like? They look like someone catered Subway. They got a bunch of folding chairs out. Like, I will say that
Except
fighting.
if you're watching Smash, because then Smash runs into the nuance again, because it's like, yo, he hit an up air on a down air with a dash air. Oh my
Sure.
god, bro, you don't see that combo every day. And I'm like,
I've tried
What?
looking at links that y'all fucking post in the Discord, and I still, after reading through the comments on it, still can't figure out what the fuck is going on half the time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, he pushed the smash button. He did it. Why is it such a big deal? And I'm like, oh,
That is the thing.
it's the ratio of blah 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 and the amount of I don't know. Fucking I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But if we got a tournament that was casted by the guys from that opening Twitter video, would that work for you guys? Are they the ones that can
God, no.
100%?
That would be the worst thing on the planet. I don't think I could imagine something that I would like to watch less.
Those two guys
Any
in the
esports
new
game.
Big Shack video.
So
Pretty accurate. All right, I'm gonna move on to the news stuff because I have a lot of shit prepared. I love you.
dkgWELP. Let's fill that knowledge hole with Kaz and Curly's news bag.
All right, I'm gonna start off with a news story specifically because
Wait, we have to do the goddamn thing. This is the news bag. This is the segment where we bring news stories from around the internet. If you would like to help us find news stories that we can talk about here on the show, you can join our Discord. Links are down below, or you can find them if you're here in the live chat by hitting bang Discord. So join our Discord community. There will be a channel called dkgWELP where you can drop links to news stories that we will probably talk about on the show, like this one.
it's gonna be a little quiet at the dinner table because mommy just hit daddy again, and
you could have.
everyone eat their meal in silence as we have a slow drive home.
Oh my god.
Our first story I wanted to bring up specifically because it was what I mentioned earlier, where today is one day before April Fool's, and in some parts of the world, it's also April Fool's Day. So I didn't want to be that guy because I've had that egg on my face before where I covered a story that was obviously fake and satirical. But this one, I'm going to vet a little bit. I'm going to give you the first red flag because it comes from EDM.com, which is your electronic dance music.com website. Not necessarily known for its...
When I'm looking, when I want to get on the internet and listen to some electronic dance music, I go to EDM.
When I want to just really I'm off of work and I want to just dig into that Mueller report, I go to EDM.com to get my hardest hitting journalism.
I take some Molly and really roll on EDM.com.
To find out what's going on in the newest news of Brexit, we go to EDM.com. Anyways, 9 hours ago, this was posted. Scientific study finds that Skrillex's hit song "Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites" actually stops mosquitoes from having sex. Is anybody else's April Fool's fucking tingling sense going on right now? But
No.
yeah, they had a double experiment where they had a section of music on mosquitoes and music off mosquitoes, and found out that the I guess the double blind whatever fucking shenanigans they did, that the conclusion is true, that the what do they say here? Mosquitoes in the music on environment were less likely to feed on the provided host and were less likely to reproduce than mosquitoes in the music off. I'll give you what I did check. Oh, so hold on, this is what they say here.
And this is in like a scientific paper published from a university.
Well, here's the science. Skrillex's breakout single singles
Science.com, published
low
by Science.com.
frequency vibrations disrupt mating habits in insects. That makes sense. But no,
Sure.
they do link the ncbi.nlm, which is part of pubmed.gov, which is a .gov website, so I'm assuming it's real enough. But yeah, they it's real. I mean, as far as I can tell, unless they fake hosted a journal.
I guess I can understand. So like base response.
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever been next to a big subwoofer, you know that base response moves the wind, moves air kind of a lot. And we know that like sights and fragrances can affect insect habits a lot. My understand, I think they set up like mosquito traps where they spray a black piece of cloth with perfume, and that attracts the mosquitoes so that they can kind of exterminate them somehow. That's my understanding. So that's just, did they list a Skrillex song specifically in the research paper? Because that would be, oh well, that's it looks like it. Yeah, no, made the headline even.
Yeah. What I want to say is kind of going to the same as one of the Reddit viewers or commenters on this, which was, I mean, if you think about the scale of a speaker and a mosquito, if you put a fucking subwoofer the size of, Six Flags next to my bedroom, I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of fucking if you're playing Scary Monsters and Night Sprites. I'm not going to be doing much of fucking anything.
It's not a sexy song. The thing about Scary Monsters and Night Sprites is it's not a sexy song. It's like a wild song.
Yeah.
It's like a get loose song, but it's not like a sexy song.
Oh,
I mean,
sure,
I like my sexual songs to just go left and right and up and down and all over the place. And
now, if it was Bangarang, then I think that would have been different. I think if they played Bangarang for these mosquitoes,
I can't think of anything titled Bangarang without thinking of Rufio, so
Always,
that's not sexy for me.
I'm sure it's some kind of Hook cover band, so I'm just gonna go with that. That's my mind's canon now.
That's a instant no for me and Curly. We watch too much Hook as children. All right, I got the next news story here. So this one is talking about the French coast of some beach that I lost the name of, has been having Garfield-shaped phones wash up on the beach for about 30 years.
Right.
And I did vet this one a little bit too. And
this one is real.
Yeah, this one is real. So basically, it's been this phenomenon where these old school Garfield phones have been washing up on this French beach for about 30 years. And recently they finally discovered the source, which was a shipping container had gotten stuck in a cave system close to the beach and was just literally like pouring these things out into the water, and then they were washing up onto the beach.
And not only that, where the container is inaccessible, so they actually can't stop it.
So it's just every now and then just like pooping out a couple phones for giggles, and like
I think it happened like at a certain time of the year. I think that was part of it, was that maybe it's because of the tides or something, but there was a certain time of the year when they would show up. And so I think it has to be something related to that.
I love that just like 50 years ago is when this happened, and we just have literally no concept of what, like, this is the new CBS hard-hitting news article that says, we have no idea what happened at that time. We don't know where it came from or what boat. It could have been multiple containers that fell in the water or only one. Who's keeping the records in the 70s, man? Like, it's not that long ago.
Well, especially with international. I think another more recent article did talk to the guy who had been talk to someone who had been on the ship.
They interviewed Bill Murray. I mean,
well,
who are you gonna call?
Amazing.
Garfbusters.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
We just don't know shit. How do we know anything? Can't figure out what happened to fucking Garfield phones showing up randomly in the world. That's a fucking Fringe episode right there.
In France, on a beach, you're just like.
But I love that it's been 30 years
like...
and everyone's just like, yeah, shit happens, man. Garfield phones just fucking show up on the ocean. Like,
well, and like imagine it, right? Like you're on a container ship. If it's obviously got to be storming pretty heavily if you're going to lose a container, and let's say you lose a container, like unless you keep track of where each container is on the ship, which in the 70s you probably didn't, like you would only be able to find it once you accounted for everything that was still on the ship, which you probably would not do. You would probably just wait until someone had a stink and say, "Oh yeah, that must be the one that we lost," and then that's the end of the conversation.
They've been counting shit since the dawn of man. Okay, this is the 70s. Okay, we had already been to the moon. Okay.
Here's the thing, though, right?
What I'm saying is,
hold on. Before you leave.
If the only way that this is plausible is if it's literally me and Kaz's doppelgangers in charge of the boat. At that point, if a fucking
it was the 70s, Curly. It could be.
If it was a time traveling doppelganger of Kaz and I who somehow got trapped and we're looking for work, and we got ourselves on this barge, and imagine a whole shipping container of Garfield phones just dumped in the drink, and me and Kaz look around like, I didn't see a thing. Did you see a thing? I didn't see a fucking thing, man. All right, carry on. Hoist the mainsail or whatever boats you.
Yes.
Because that's a is that a rock, dude? Yeah, no. Oh shit! Hard right. Oh, ooh. We saved the rest of the ship, though. Yo, it's a win. We saved the rest of the ship. Yeah, all right. We'll come back for it.
We saved the ship. We got rid of that. Oh, you know what? It was sinking. The Garfield phones were too heavy. We didn't think about it. We saved the ship.
Yeah, too much lasagna.
But look, man, that was in a day and age. You counted when you left, and you counted when you arrived, and you went.
Well, yeah, it's only like really that's the only thing you can do, right? You can't just from a logistics standpoint, you can't keep track of it all the time. It's on the ship. The ship's moving. If it doesn't make it there, it's not like we're going to be able to save it. It's not like they could have saved these Garfield phones.
You're not the person I'm hiring at the interview process for my ship. I've got a bunch of expensive Bill Murray branded Garfield phones that I've just had manufactured. I need to get overseas, and you're over here, Bryce, the new employee, being like, we just can't account for everything. You know what, man?
You can't. Not in the middle of a fucking journey. Not in the middle of a storm.
If my fucking
now Ben Franklin's trying to give me BS saying like there are things called manifests. I know what manifests are. I understand that. But even then, if I'm on the ship and I'm checking everything after the storm, you can't. What are we gonna do? Stop the ship and look for the container? You wouldn't have any way to save it.
Well, yeah. What are the protocols for getting a fucking?
Let's put a tracking device on there. Get the fuck out of here.
That's expensive. What though?
I love you, chat. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Y'all.
You just get me and Kaz would be out as soon as you land. Just like fucking nope. Go ship, not here.
It would be 1 out of hundreds. I think you'd probably be fine.
No, it's just us. It's just us.
Yeah. Be like, what happened to those Garfield phones we gave you guys? No, I never had them. Wasn't on our ship.
We don't look inside the containers. We just take the containers and we don't lose them.
Hey, you look at like Titanic.
You're like, no. It's on your manifest. Is that? Oh, you know what? See, mine is SS962. This is SS962. Not mine, man.
Then again, I've gotten into parties where I'm like, yeah, I'm on the list, and then they check it, and I'm like, nah, something must have been wrong, and they're like, oh, okay, and I'm like, cool, bye.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is literally why they have insurance for this stuff. There is this makes the most sense. This makes more sense than fucking the EDM.com story. Come on.
EDM.
I mean, there was a couple weeks ago we lost a truck full of ink. You think somebody's out there with a scraper just fucking putting it back into the ink cartridges? Like, oh, gotta save all that ink. No, it's fucking they washed it off the road and counted their losses.
Yeah. We go to the moon and we've got fucking Garfield phones, the conundrum over here that we can't solve as human beings. Get in there and fucking save them. Those are vintage.
Always with the moon with this guy. Kaz, is he always talking about the moon nowadays?
No, this is
just a moon man.
He's become moon.
Is this just organic advertising for all of those space movies?
I
could bring up a Musk story.
Elton John movie.
The Rocket Man. Is this your Rocket Man organic promotion?
dkgWELP brought to you by Rocket Man.
Watching Kaz do the mental gymnastics to get from what you were talking about to the fucking Elton John movie. Fucking Moon Man, Rocket Man, Elton John. Got it. We're good. We're here.
There have been 2 more appropriate movies that have come out since then.
My next story is less of a global concern for the human race and more of just a problem that happened over in Jackson. That's really just what it says. Jackson,
Jacksonville, Jackson,
North,
No,
South,
no.
Florida.
I'm looking at the
Jackson.
two. I'm looking at the two letters for the state, and I'm not sure what to say.
No, don't do this again. We have proven that we don't know the continental United States. We don't know shit.
It could be Mississippi. It could be Minnesota. It could be Michigan.
What is it?
It's MI.
MI
Michigan.
is Michigan.
Okay.
MI is Michigan.
So Jackson, Michigan. Not the important part of the story whatsoever. Listen, the head of the article just says Jackson.
You're just a fucking fifth grader looking at a map like,
yeah.
Fucking teacher curled on you. Curly, what's this one?
Listen, there's a real problem here. A woman suffered a leg injury in Jackson, Michigan.
Still struggling with this.
What struggled is the writer of this article to get 5 paragraphs. 2 of which are one sentence. Well, the headline Burr is it. Woman, or not Burr is it, but reveals it. Woman runs herself over while parking car.
Oh, did she leg dangle?
No.
Did she have her foot out of the car while she was parking the car?
Did she ghost park the whip?
She ghost parked the whip. This is once again my April Fool's tendencies were tingling, but I couldn't find a fault in this because no one would read the story otherwise. But basically, a woman parked her car at 4. I love that there's like the times because you know that a lawyer had to sit down and figure this out. But 4:30 parked her car Thursday, March 28th, outside of a clinic in the 300 block range of Page Avenue, and she went to go walk towards the building. Somehow, the car ran her over at this point. There's a couple concerns here.
No, you yada over the important part. What is
the woman parked her car at 4:30 and headed towards the building. The car rolled her over her leg. Like, it's the whole middle paragraph is about the 300 block of Page Avenue. Okay, that's pretty much it.
He took that straight from the deposition of her lawyer, because her lawyer fluffed the fuck out of it. Because what happened was she walked in there and he was like, "All right, explain to me what happened." Okay, so I was on my phone talking to Tina, and then I parked my car, and then it started moving again, and I don't understand why. So I walked up to it, and it hit me, and I want money.
Listen, so the obvious is the parking brake, right? Like the obvious is the parking brake.
Sure.
But at the same time, I've known plenty of people who just don't use their parking brake unless they're reminded to or on a hill. And that being said,
and if you are in park, the park gear.
Yeah.
I mean, I always use my parking brake. I always use it.
We're about to find out when you don't.
But if you're in parking gear, you should be fine.
Yeah, the shit locks in, right? Like, have you ever tried to move a car and it just rolls into the little like slot that the parking brake engages in? Like, so here's why the concern had me. One, she was walking away from the car. Then it says in the final sentence of the article, the woman, along with a bystander, tried to stop the vehicle when the car ran over her leg. What? Hold on, but at what? I mean,
that's how she got hit or run over. Is not that she didn't see it. She tried to stop it from moving.
I'm just imagining
she put herself in front of it.
Her and a bystander screaming while trying to stop this vehicle from running them down at 0.1 miles per hour as it's like slowly overtaking them. Like, no, Mary, get out of the way. It's gonna.
You would have had to have like. She would have had to like left it running and have it be idling.
It would have had to have been on an incline of at least like 10, 15%. Because I feel like if I put my leg down next to a car that's slightly rolling out of a parking spot, it's just going to stop when it hits my leg.
Yeah, that's... And, about, the shortness of this article, rather than like some lawyer redlined deposition, it just sounds like a police blotter. It sounds like the thing that they do now where they'll just report anything on the police blotter as an article. And so it's whatever they had at the time, which was, hey, a woman got run over. Here's what time we reported it.
Thanks, Nathan Clark from MichiganLive.com.
Thanks,
I'm
Nathan.
finding out a lot of our chat doesn't use parking brakes.
The fuck is wrong with you people?
I mean, you don't necessarily need to, but you should.
It says like in the this is maybe California, but it says you gotta fucking do it.
Well, but California's people will be parking on hills in California.
We do have hills everywhere, but parking brake. I don't even I'm not gonna Google fucking parking brake laws. What am I doing? It's a podcast.
Let's not do that. let's not do that one.
Carry on,
Let's
Kaz.
go to the next
All
story.
right. We're gonna mosey on down to Kansas City because that's where I got this story from.
Which Kansas City?
So, bro, I don't fucking know.
Kansas, Missouri. Okay.
Hold on. I don't know. Where's
Never
the
mind. No,
thing?
never mind.
Yeah,
Go back
Missouri.
to the story. Okay.
So, man in Kansas City, Missouri, got mad at his coworker because his coworker had real negative vibes, man. Just really, really harshing the vibe of the workplace,
Negative
and was just super negative, right? So he figured he'd help his coworker chill out a little bit by putting some LSD in his energy drink.
Yo,
Just helping a brother out.
Yeah. He was trying to get rid of the negative vibes in the office, man.
You wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't scoff at free fucking LSD. What's wrong with that?
No.
Going on that
Okay.
that 12-hour magical mystery tour. Technicolored Dreamcoats.
So, talk about like a second half of the day.
Hold on, Tim says
Like-
trying to ditch his stash. That'd be the greatest ditch. Oh shit, the cops are coming. Where are you gonna hide the drugs? In you, Tim. Fluke. Y'all gonna get me now, coppers? This guy's doing drugs. He's supposed to be high on LSD or something.
So,
But I also
what
love so.
how much?
So-
Did they say how
so-
much he had been dosed with?
Well, it was two employees got dosed by their 19-year-old coworker. Attempted
That's bad.
to spiking his coworker's drink at
Don't
work
drug people, kids. Listeners
Because
to this
of their-
podcast.
because of their negative energy.
Fucking hippies. Don't drug people. That seems like
Yeah, I mean this is the obvious form of like, hey guys, consent a little bit before you drug your fucking.
yes.
You know, I have a friend of mine who has a story like that. Her like, she was like, oh yeah, my ex gave me weed once. I tried it and it wasn't really fun for me. And I was like, I left the story at that. And then later, as years went on, I think this conversation happened and we were talking about just drugs or getting drunk or whatever or something. And she was like, yeah, man, it's just everyone else says weed's fine, but weed fucked me up. And I was like, that doesn't track. Like that doesn't really track with my experiences. But whatever. And she was like, yeah. So she goes to elaborate, and she's like, yeah, I was like, I couldn't get off the bed. I was there for like 12 hours. I kept seeing like images of things, and like chords came to life and stuff. And I'm like, you did acid. You didn't do marijuana, man. Like, Jesus.
I mean, and it could be that she got some bad stuff, but also like even something like weed, which I've always had a very relaxing, never too big of a journey with. There are people who it just doesn't. Okay, Kaz, don't.
No. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the two times I have done any kind of like weed, whatever, is with Curly, and then we've gone on trips.
We've had conversations.
Vegas and San Jose.
But even
we did in that fucking light rail.
Even as something as mild as weed, or hell, like we can even talk about liquor, is like it's all that stuff affects people differently, and you will find people who just have these awful reactions to any particular substance, or choose to not partake in all that
to bring
stuff.
it back, which is the reason why you don't drug your friends.
Right.
They might have a peanut allergy to marijuana or something equivalent.
Yeah. You know
where I was going with that.
Because there's like, what is the best version of this plan? Oh yeah, I just gave you acid. Congrats. Didn't you have a fun time? When the much more likely thing is, hey, you know why you've been feeling super fucked up? Because I drugged you?
I couldn't imagine.
You're welcome?
Oh, God.
And an expensive prank. What a stupid, expensive prank. Don't drug people, kids. What the fuck?
Okay, there is a bit that I'm workshopping right now that I will share a story from that kind of sparked the bit. But basically, and I didn't know this beforehand, but there's actually a subreddit for it, which is where I'm going to probably pull the information from. There's a there's a bit that I was working on called "Am I the Asshole?" Basically, just how you imagine, and it's like someone posing this question, like, "Am I the asshole? I drugged my friends. Just wanted to have a good time." Yeah, you're the asshole. One of these to bring it back to the alcohol is the one of the ones I read was an article that I was looking for during setup, where this guy was like, "Hey guys, I'm really fucked up about this. My girlfriend of like 3 years, she drinks a lot. I drink as well. We had a bunch of friends over for the party. He's like, I drank too much, and my wife knows this about me. I tend to black out and then just like go to bed or whatever. And she's like, it's not a big deal, but whatever. This happened. But when I woke up, I was in my room and I was cool with that, and my wife was asleep next to me, and next to my bed on my nightstand was a bottle or a cup that said water, and it had a little Post-it note on it, and he's like, "Oh, someone must have left this for me, like 'cause I blacked out or whatever." And he went to drink it, and it was all pure vodka, and he drank it like it was water, and then threw up everywhere on the bed.
Oh God, I bet.
And his wife got mad at him.
Smell it?
His wife got mad at him. Yeah, well, he was still probably drunk and everything, but his wife got mad at him and was like, "You're a fucking asshole," blah blah blah. And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "I wasn't gonna think anything of it." And then my friend showed me a video of the night before, after I had passed out, and my wife was in the video setting up the prank that she said was going to be hilarious in the morning, but she had forgotten about it. And he's like, "Am I the asshole for being mad about it?" Like,
no, you're not. That sucks. You got that's a very.
So there, So Curtis just said there is the "Am I an Asshole" Reddit where
that's what I was
like
saying, yeah.
I think no I'm saying I think like I like this bit, and I think sometimes we should just pull some things from the "Am I?" Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. The other thing in this story, and then we can move on to another one, is just like part of his thing was he was like, he told the cops they were too uptight and and needed to have better energy.
Oh, fucking hippies. Fuck off. Look, man, it's one thing, like, I get it. There are some people who you just don't vibe with. There are some people who just bring negativity to the world. But fucking LSD is not the solution to emotional energy, my man.
Not to mention, it doesn't affect. Not everyone gets that Zen fucking spiritual shit. Not everyone gets that. Some people get crazy clown dreams of doom. Like, fucking don't wish it on somebody.
But he did this at work.
Where did they say where they work? Is this like is this a button-up place?
Enterprise
rent-a-car. So,
okay, I mean, I get.
You ever been out of sync with your secret friendship talk before with a friend? So I have a coworker at work, and this was years ago, so no one write my current employer. But I definitely was not picking up on the wink wink vibe that a friend of mine was giving me when we were talking about buying sodas on our break at work. He was just like, yeah, you can get a soda. You're gonna make sure you get a bigger one that's got a label. And I was like, oh, okay, man, like whatever, like that's cool. And at some point, he had taken them all into his office and then like made a half and half drink for the rest of the workday for us. And he handed me my drink, and I'm like, it's open, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give him the benefit of that. I'm not thinking about anything. I just didn't click at all in the conversation. Like I was down, but at the same time, I was just like, hey, what's this? And and this is.
But you didn't know what you were walking into.
I also, to the testament of how much of an alcoholic Curly is, I didn't know I was drinking a half and half drink.
What? You couldn't tell?
There was like 20 minutes into it. He's like, so you need a re-up or whatever? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, your soda. And I was like, what? And he's like, I put vodka in there. And I was like, oh, that's what that whole weirdness was about that I ignored and drank.
It must have been a weak drink if you couldn't even tell it was.
Yeah, we'll see.
But, well. So
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, kids.
Don't do that, people.
Don't do that at all, unless you have an alcoholic friend. Don't do it ever. Don't do it ever. Don't do it
ever.
No,
no, especially not. No, Curly, no.
I don't even know what to cover at this point. I have so many good ones, but I can only cover one. Okay, Kentucky man. Oh no,
figure your shit out.
I'm gonna save this for later. Cool. This is the Florida news.
Goodness.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it became not cool to talk about Florida all of a sudden. But yeah,
it's just we just remember the people of Florida are real people.
Yeah, and this won't be against anybody from Florida. And also, I got to say about that meme that went through, the whole like birthday Florida man thing, that was on Instagram and shit, like in my world that morning. And then I got to work and my fucking coworkers who do not pick up on shit like this or like, hey, fucking Google your name in Florida and it's going to be great or whatever.
Yeah.
So, that being said, Florida police had to put out a public service announcement just to warn people that drinking vodka from sunscreen bottles only works if you don't let a deputy see you. It's just good news because apparently everyone thinks you can barely buy these online now. They're fucking pre-made sunscreen
Like
bottles that are tall. You know, these little tall guys.
So they're like stealth flasks basically, but they're pre-made and probably like cleaned out.
So in my day, I got these things called rum runners, which are basically like collapsible fucking plastic bags you can sneak in into any cool place.
Okay, yeah.
And they're all like medical grade or whatever. I'm sure these are the same thing, but
Probably.
But yeah, apparently people are just thinking it's good enough to hide it, and then they're just literally drinking on the beach from these fucking sunscreen things. So the cops are like, seriously though, like just hide it, just don't.
But yeah, there are two parts to it, right? You have to hide it so someone's looking at what you have, they don't know that you have it. But then you have to still make sure the coast is clear, so they don't see you obviously drinking alcohol out of a sunscreen bottle.
It's like, sir, are you okay? Yeah, man. Man. What's up? Just having a good time. Why you drinking sunscreen, sir? Do you know that's huh? You gotta fucking keep the insides from.
Hey, you can't arrest me. This is sunscreen, bro. Like, that's not how it works. Also,
got him.
At that point, you might as well just get like a big soda bottle or a big bottle of seltzer or something that you can fill, and it's not weird for you to drink out of, you idiot.
The craziest part about the tweet is the fact that it's literally in the tweet calls out vodka. Vodka's fucking clear. The top Reddit fucking comment was like, or you try like the rest of us and hide your vodka in water bottles because it's fucking clear, my man. Like, what are you doing?
Except like, so when I went to Pride last year, they fenced off the whole area that Pride was, and like had people at certain spots, and they just were like, you can't bring a water bottle at all.
Right.
And I'm like,
because that's what people do. That's how people do it.
I've followed a tutorial. I've followed a tutorial on how to bring in like a 7-Eleven pre-made foot-long sandwich and cut out the center and put a bottle of alcohol in it to take it to Coachella. And it just looks like you're eating your sandwich from the fucking sandwich thing. You're drinking from a bottle of vodka.
You could just take the bottle out at that point. Then
you're inside Coachella. They're gonna arrest you. It's illegal.
No, because they sell bottles. They sell bottles of water there. They're not going to check because they have the entrance check.
It's a half handle of vodka. They don't sell that.
Well,
I hate the places that like don't want you to bring liquor, but then they sell liquor, and I'm just like, you cunt.
It's a control thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, Coachella bars you from water, and then they sell it for $7.
Sure. Well, and a bartender at any festival is not going to know anybody, but the idea is that someone is properly going to serve you a drink that won't by itself put you over the edge and can offer some sort of control and moderation. That's at least part of what ABC laws are meant to do. And yes, it's a profit thing, just like movie theaters, just like restaurants. Sure.
Let us kill ourselves with sweets and alcohol, please.
Well, the problem is that you're not at your house. You can do it at home. Go do it at home. They would love you to go and watch the YouTube stream of Coachella and do that at home.
And you can see your hologram Tupac's a lot clearer.
Yeah.
You didn't know. But that's my news stories for the week. I'm not sure if Kaz has any more. I'd like to ask him.
I do, but we can do.
We are
games.
getting long, and I have a whole
We're
middle
going
bit
long.
that I haven't
Yeah.
fucking did, and I
Oh,
pushed it from
yeah.
last week. But we might as well do
No,
it.
I was more.
I'm sorry.
I was more checking time than anything else. And I was like, okay,
we've
yeah.
produced episodes that are shorter than this whole current right now, and we're only 1/3 of the way through in my fucking thing.
That's right, baby. The king is back.
Okay, we're gonna make this one quick. This was originally gonna be, I don't know, I was workshopping it, but now that Bryce is here, you guys are gonna be the judges of these stories I throw at you. It's very similar to the news stories, but these all have. God, sorry. This is I always err on the side of just giving you guys how the sausage is made, anyways. But like this was a portion of me on the way to coming up with the whole "am I the asshole" kind of thing. But this is more related to like there possibly being like a right or wrong answer that you guys get to decide. So it was originally going to be called like Judge King Kaz, but it's going to be Judge Kaz and Bryce at this point. So, basically, these are a bunch of different stories that have a ruling that you guys need to decide if one party is right or one party is wrong. Your first one is about a man that is suing currently. I think still in courts. He's suing a date for texting during the movie. This is a very straightforward one that you guys get to go. This is basically a bad first date story. Brendan, of course, from Austin, Texas, went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with a woman as a first date. They had met on Tinder and decided to go to the movie. And
Okay, so movie, first date is not a good idea. Do not do that. Go to a restaurant, go to a bar, go bowling, go somewhere where you are doing something with the person and not just sitting silently, especially in Austin, Texas, where they are very particular about texting during the movies and talking during movies.
I think the funny thing is that this was actually at the Alamo Drafthouse. Yeah, it was. So they go to the Alamo.
No, okay. Yeah.
Wait, is this you? Were you Brendan? Did you go?
Well, no, I know the end of the story of this deposition. I know the end of this lawsuit story. I have not heard this one specifically, but I think I know what happens.
But anyways, yeah. The way that he writes it up to the article is, it was a first date from hell. Only a short while into the film, the date began texting on her phone, which he describes as like one of my biggest pet peeves. She used her phone at least 10 to 20 times in 15 minutes to text and check her messages. After he asked her to stop, she refused and then left the theater, leaving him to find a ride for himself.
Oh, she left?
Leaving him to find a ride for himself.
And she drove! Oh.
So to ratchet this one up, he then calls the woman incessantly to ask her to reimburse him the $17.31 for the cost of the movie ticket and providing him with such a disappointing first date. As which she refused. Alamo Drafthouse offered a gift certificate for the gentleman for the full cost of the ticket. So yeah. This was the bunt or whatever they call. What do they like? Do a light pitch to you in baseball?
Sure.
This is an easy one. I think you guys can both come up with who's right. Unless you want to make a devil's advocate argument for.
No, I mean Kaz. Break it to him.
I mean, yes, he's right, but I don't think it's sue worthy. I think it's
for 1731. Should he get his 1731 back?
Also,
No.
that must include food or the price of his Uber, because
Alamo?
$17 is not the price of a ticket.
Isn't Alamo like an upscale, like expensive place, or?
Not $17. Not $17. Just for not. He must have this is also your half of the popcorn. Like,
because I've been to what we have a place out here called Stenopolis, and every chair is like a fucking recliner lazy boy. They come out with a cocktail menu. You're not elbow to elbow with anyone that you don't want to be.
All right, Cass, come on. Deliver it.
So
on to high.
There's plenty more of these, so you don't have to lose your mind on this one. Okay.
I know. But I'm thinking in the scenario of like maybe he was also, to quote another Reddit, r/nice guy, and maybe he was a little creepy, and she was like, "Oh my god, this dude, he keeps touching me. I need to get the fuck out of here." Like, you know, like he keeps saying weird shit.
Hold on, Kaz, this is a court of law. You can't bring up stuff circumstantial. With you can't paint the you
You don't need to make fake facts for this, Kaz.
worst judge ever.
Deliver unto him what we know.
You're like, you know what? The plaintiff looks like an asshole, so you know what? We're gonna
Going from the evidence that has been presented in this case.
It's gonna take so long.
Man,
I don't think he gets his money back.
she is not into him. No, you don't. No, you don't get. Sorry, man. You don't get that money back, dude. You fucked up. You know what you should have done? You should have been quiet. Cause like, what is gonna happen? What could have happened? All right, she's texting during your movie. She's texting during your fucking James Gunn bullshit. She's texting, and you're like, well, that's fucking. But
It's one of his biggest pet peeves.
Then don't ask her on another date.
Texting?
Yeah, during a movie.
Oh my god.
But you know what? Here's the thing. This sounds like the type of guy who would. I mean, this is the type of guy who would have sued for the movie ticket price. Even though it obviously would have been more expensive, the cost to sue her for this amount.
Yeah, she should just countersue for the gas money.
He's trying to make a point. He's trying to make a point. He wants her to suffer.
What point?
Yeah,
it's
but
not
he's
illegal
gone-
to
he's
text
gone
during
too
a movie.
It's a dick move, but it's not illegal.
I'm
Sure.
telling you, this triggered me a bit in regards to like feeling like close to home because I, on an occasion, try to show Erica something I care about.
We'll sue people
Yeah.
who you have a
I will
bad date with.
occasionally open up frivolous lawsuits. Yes, that's what I do. That's what I'm known for. Oh, curly frivolousness. I will sit here with Erica, our good friend and stream team man. But unless she is hooked within the last 10 minutes of something that happened, she is in her notebooks or on the phone or fucking texting. And I'm like, there's an important part going on. There's an important thing.
You're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it.
And I've learned my lessons over the years. Do not call her out on that shit because you will lose a limb or at least the whole evening at this point. Like, just let her do her thing.
And look, man, people consume media differently, right? It guides what we like to watch and how we like to watch stuff. And to tell anybody
You're enjoying
that
this
they're
wrong.
doing it wrong is a hill never worth dying on. They could be on the phone in the middle of like a secret preview screening for Avengers 7 Re-Avengening. And that's how they're going to watch that movie, man. You don't get to yell at them. You don't get to sue them. You certainly don't get to fucking sue them.
Lose my number
So,
is what you can say to them.
So,
All right. Is there another one?
There's tons.
so anecdotally, real quick, anecdotally, when me and my friends went to see, I'm trying to make this quick, Bryce. Fuck. When we went to see the movie Us, right?
Yeah.
Like we
great film.
took the three. Yeah, we took 3 seats, right? I had a friend in the middle, friend on the other side, and then I was on the other side. Perfectly fine. Watched the movie, great, right? But my friend at the end was like, so that dude that just got up and like darted out of here, right? He tried to talk to me the whole movie.
Oh no! Don't do that.
It's just like, I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah. Movie started, and he was like, yo, man, you see his other movie? Crazy. And he was like, yeah.
Oh, I'd hate that. Like, you get like
the whole
I think
time he's just like, oh, that shit was crazy, wasn't it? And I'm like,
see, I have gone to the movies a lot. You at most get like one sentence near the beginning of the movie. If you are alone and the other person is alone, you maybe get to be like, hey, yeah, okay. That's it, max.
No, the only conversation should be, do you want some of this popcorn? And it should be expressed in, huh?
Are we doing this?
This was a stranger, dude. Like a stranger danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know,
You giving
sometimes-
strangers your popcorn?
My well, yeah. one of the guys I work with is a cable guy. I see him occasionally when he's on a site. I feel like there's like a rule. If you initiate a comment to a human being that has like follow-up abilities, you know the art of conversation where you give them something to talk about themselves a little bit maybe, and you give them little hooks to maybe go on. He's a person who's a little shy into the conversation world. I get that. If you do that thrice, and the person responds to you with taking an earbud out of their ear and then says what, and then doesn't respond to anything besides the exact yes or no to your question, you can stop initiating conversation at this point. You've done your deed. Everyone's cool with the silence now. But this one guy, this cable guy, he never gives up for the 8-hour day. 8-hour day. Headphones. Wow. What? No, I can't hear you when you... No, what? Yeah, cool. Boom. Eat that guy. Anywho, your next song.
All right, next one.
Next Judge Kaz and Bryce.
Next Trice. Next case.
This one gonna be a little
Bring
bit.
the case before me.
So this was a possibly trashy / backfiring Facebook post that someone had posted. Names are all redacted for reasons, but she posted this originally to her group on Facebook that's labeled Family, which someone then uploaded to the internet because why not? That's what's great about the internet and people. But she starts it with help. This is a woman, and she says she is 34 weeks pregnant. And she's a stay-at-home mother, has a 5-year-old son, and a fiance that works 6 days per week for the whole, 8-hour whatever. She says it makes it extremely hard for her to leave the house. The pain being pregnant and having to get your son up and ready in the car and all the other rigmarole, waiting for my husband to get back from work sucks. No judgment, please. So, since she's pregnant, she says, I was craving a specific place in the mall. My son's lunch was in the oven, and I figured by the time it was ready, I would be home, considering the mall isn't more than 15 minutes away. My son... Save. My son is potty trained and just plays games on his iPad and watches TV. I get these messages from my fiance 30 minutes after I leave, where he basically rips into her and he's like, I don't understand how you don't see a problem with this. I just got home and, Marcus is here by himself with chicken nuggets in the oven and you're nowhere to be found. Where the fuck are you? And she's like, calm down. I'm just at the fucking Whataburger in the mall down the street, like
in the mall. Oh.
No. I feel degraded and belittled. A 5-year-old is perfectly capable of fending for himself for an hour. I'm honestly not. I'm about to pack my bags and never let my son see his father again, as well as when this baby is born. I would rather be a single mother than spoken to this way.
Was the baby in a pen? Was the baby
living room?
5-year-old
table watching TV, iPad?
No. It's one thing. It's one thing if the kid is in a pen in a room that is secured, right? If I know, okay, he's in his room, he's in the thing. Even if he gets out of the thing, he's in the room, which is locked or whatever. But also, you left the house with the oven on. I mean, what if there was traffic? What if you got held up in the mall? What if it takes a very long time for you to get into the mall and get this food and then get out? What the fuck? No. That's crazy.
I wish you want to know who's in the family that fucking posted this. Someone's like, yeah, Martha, get the fuck out. Put your shit on blast. Oh, it's good times. Yeah, I mean... it's the argument that this is fucking shit, man. I stayed home a lot with my fucking baby sister. She's 5 years younger than I was.
But
7? When's the cutoff, man?
Higher than 5. If you have... This is a 5-year-old left alone in the house. What if the kid smelled the chicken nuggets? What if the kid got into the oven that you left on?
See, okay.
You could have gotten one. I think here's the thing. She could have got one, right? House is empty. I'm cooking a thing.
Run to the mailbox kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
not get in your car into traffic and drive to the mall.
Or the kid's alone. The oven is not on. I'm gonna be right back.
Well, you just say to your kid, "Don't touch the oven, dummy."
That's exactly what they're going to do. Do you know anything about children?
I feel like 5 is pretty high functioning.
Yeah.
A kindergartner. Just so that we're clear, you're saying that a kindergartner is high functioning enough to be left alone in a house with the oven turned on.
I don't spend a lot of time around children to know.
You can
so
tell.
I'm just going off guesswork.
I love just like you can tell the people in the chat that are parents or not parents. It helps. Like, when do kids gain object permanence? Pretty actively before vocalizing words and.
When do you get that? You can download that patch, right? Wait,
get that DLC.
I mean. So no, you were being an asshole, lady. You fucked up.
God, give it to the lady. Everyone giving it to the lady. All right.
Are you on her side?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm just trying. I honestly, it's a little bit of me wanting to defend my mother, but then realizing that I probably shouldn't. But whatever. We were all right. I was walking my sister to school at 7, so whatever.
So we always lived in the realm of like somebody should be home within the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Look, I'll be home. You're gonna get home at 2:30. I get out of work at 3. I'll be there at 3:15. Just keep the door locked.
So it was like okay. Me as the youngest, I got out of school at like 2:15. The bus drops me off. I know how to go from the bus to my house. Open the door. My brother should get home at 3:45. Or my sister should get home a little bit before him if she doesn't have band practice or something. Then my mother gets home around like 6 or 8. So there should there's someone there at most times, that was the scale we lived on. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This one's a hard one. That's a toughie. Moving on.
All right. Yeah. You're apparently giving the lady the shit. That's fine. There's no score for these. Don't worry about it. Your next one for Judge Kazan and Bryce to decide the outcome for. I think this was actually a lawsuit for reals, but it was a while back, so it might have actually been solved. You guys are a fan or at least aware of the brand of potato chips known as Hawaiian potato chips? They're like every 7-Eleven.
No, I've never heard of that.
They look like these guys. I feel like I the picture I recognize. They're just at like 7-Eleven. They're just Hawaiian brand potato chips.
No,
they're
I've never seen that before.
Fancy as
Cass,
fuck.
have you?
Luau barbecue, mango habanero.
I only buy fucking Doritos, dude. I only buy Doritos. I only buy Doritos and the Lay's Obey potato chips.
Right.
That's it.
Lay's or Frito-Lay. I mean, those are. I've never heard of Hawaiian. I can't even think of what.
I want to read. I want to get the back of the bag at some point.
Sure.
But yeah, they're just potato chips. The brand. Oh, there it is. Hey, boys.
They have a lot of flavors here. Some kettle. They got your kettle chips. You got sweet Maui onion kettle style. Ooh.
Yeah. So the open up.
And
they're part of Tim's.
Let yourself be swept away to a tropical paradise of blue skies and warm sandy beaches.
Mm-hmm. So
Oh.
I love a good sandy chip.
Yeah, my favorite type of potatoes are grown in Hawaii.
Sand on my chips.
So the thing being why there's currently a lawsuit about them is that they are nothing to do with Hawaii. They are not made in Hawaii. They are not produced in Hawaii. They aren't fucking manufactured. There's none of the ingredients that come from Hawaii.
By a Hawaiian.
They're not the typical normal scenery that you're used to is the great potato fields of Hawaii.
Are they not sponsored by Jason Momoa? Like, what's happening?
Hawaiian snacks, like all other products produced by Pinnacle Foods subsidiary Tim Cascade Snacks, are made in a factory located in Algonia, Washington. Little landlocked.
I mean, so there are those Hawaiian rolls. Are they produced in Hawaii?
I don't have fucking expanded information, Kaz. What are you
Those
talking?
are Hawaiian style rolls. We consider them Hawaiian rolls because of the style of roll that they are. But these look like chips. I mean, looking on this website, it mostly looks like some of these might be Hawaiian like style, but a lot of these are just kettle chips.
Yeah, they're just sugary
So
ass
Hope
chips.
says they're slightly thicker, extremely crisp chips. Like that's just their thing.
But that's what every like non-Lay's chip is. Every like good, quote unquote, good brand of chips are thicker, crunchier, just because that's how they tend to be made. But these are not like original kettle style chips. Nothing about them is even, they have some of these sweet Maui ones, island green chili, like the special flavors I kind of get. Jalapeno. I don't know. This is a weird one for me.
The plaintiffs do state that they refer to it as a catfishing potato snack, and they did reach out to the people at Tim Cascade Snacks, and they responded with, "Don't worry, companies worldwide steal the Hawaiian brand to leverage their products all the time. We know very well that luau barbecue rings doesn't make any sense, but 90% of the country doesn't know as well."
It's
and
branding.
you know what? Yeah.
They say the Hawaiian image is a powerful brand, and it's done well for us.
But okay, but that's like it's like whenever you go anywhere that isn't New York or Chicago, and then they have. Well, no, I guess that goes to the what Bryce said about the Hawaiian roll style thing.
Right.
But I don't know, dude.
I actually am going to say this is original flavored one that looks just kind of like plain chips is maybe the outlier here, but the rest of these look like a flavor you might expect to get
with Hawaii.
Right, you might think could be on the islands.
Yeah, do fucking
swept away to grass skirts.
Do some roast pig, some pineapple flavored chips.
All right, judges, who's
specifically brand and flavor your chips with a Hawaiian. Do a cross promotion with King's Hawaiian rolls and make some chips out of their Hawaiian rolls. And Jason Momoa. Put Jason Momoa on your bag, and you can have your branding back.
Have him cutting potatoes with a knife. Fantastic. So that's in favor of. I guess so. Yours is in favor of neither, but you want them to get Jason Momoa, and then they can keep their branding going.
Yes.
All right. Well, cool. I don't know how they're gonna solve this one though. This is a California woman suing the company Jelly Belly.
Okay.
Because they make
it's not made in a belly.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, they made this product, which I never heard of before, just called Sports Beans or Sport Beans from your favorite Jelly Belly company. They're energizing Jelly Bellies with vitamin C and E and 120 milligrams of all those electrolytes.
Curly, is this one real?
This is absolutely real. I found this one 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Sport Beans is just a very funny phrase.
Help.
Class action lawsuit claiming they mislabeled sugar on their product's list of ingredients because in all what's it called when the deposition or whatever in what they brought up the sports beans. Bam. We will advertise these, by the way, if you guys want to get up on the podcasting thing, Jelly Belly. Nowhere on their box do they mention that these things contain sugar.
Oh, it doesn't have a nutritional label?
It does. But the ingredient
but it
they
doesn't
list...
say it has sugar.
Bear with me here.
Oh.
The ingredient listed is evaporated cane juice.
Wait. That's literally just sugar. That's just cane sugar. What the...
Evaporated cane juice. I'm not joking. These are in quotes. The company lists evaporated cane sugar as an ingredient instead of sugar to make the product appear even more appropriate for athletes and less like a candy.
Here's a question for everybody. I'd like everyone to just
go.
noodle on this one for just a minute. All right, so these are what is it about these? They have like vitamins and stuff in them.
They have electrolytes and vitamin C
so
and
It's
D.
Gatorade. It's a Gatorade jelly bean.
Now,
Don't do shit for you.
Here's a question that I have, which is, what is the difference between Jelly Belly brand sport beans and a pharmaceutical?
A lot more money in the hands of people making the labels.
They're both pills. They're both meant to make you better. They both come in capsule shapes.
Yeah. Well, we've agreed that Jelly Belly's selling them as a food product versus pharmaceutical companies selling things as supplements, and the supplements don't have to. There's some rule there that supplements don't have to actually go through the same approval process as food.
Sure.
Which is
I'm just saying
the money's in the right hands.
Jelly Belly getting into the medicine game would be the coup of the century.
Bypassing it all.
So help
Jelly Belly brand Vicodin, it's coming.
Your off-brand EpiPen and Viagra are now coming to you from your favorite home American company, Jelly Belly.
Right.
So Hilp said they missed out here, right? Instead of branding these as sports enhancers and sports beans, they should have branded them as sensu beans.
Oh, you'd have bought them.
I think
you would have bought them.
Fuck you, sell them outside of a Smash tournament or a fucking Jump Force tournament? Yeah, literally. Oh man, literally the first ingredient is evaporated cane juice.
Right,
okay, but there has
like
to be
the new thing is all like gaming performance stuff, like fucking G Fuel and all that other shit. You make sensu beans, you sell that at all the fighting game tournaments. Motherfuckers will buy that shit.
It's got
okay. So there's a nutritional facts sheet right there in that other image.
Yeah.
What is it?
So it does say sugar here.
Yeah, 17 grams of sugar.
But under the ingredients, it's evaporated cane juice.
But it says sugar on the nutritional label. Hold on, now I'm on the other side. Now I'm on the other side.
Get out of my court. Get out of my court.
Oh no, we just did their job. Evaporated cane juice.
That fucking stock ass image. Oh, that fucking. What? Okay, I was getting ready to get
a stock image that makes that sugar look like a spoonful of cocaine.
Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, it's the inventor of Jelly Belly. This is Mr. Jelly Belly.
Okay, we're now just describing.
All right, do you have another one?
I do. I'm sorry. Okay, I just get into the fun of these things. I was like, excited. That one's a little easy. Who is at fault here? This is a fucking Florida story.
This is the last one, and then we'll move on
I'll
to whatever the
save the
next
other
one
one.
is.
All right, yeah, we'll go this one. So Tampa, Florida.
Jesus Christ.
So
Tampa, Florida.
This actually went to a judge. This went to a judge where they actually had to have.
I do declare.
Stop interrupting him, please.
A 34 or 38-year-old physical therapist went and sued a Tawny Peaks. I'm trying to find a name, but I guess it doesn't matter. Topless dancer in court. He claims that he was belted by her breasts and suffered serious bruising and injury. He is mad that her 69 double H breasts were flung in his face.
Okay, I was gonna ask what size is them titties.
This was in a strip club?
Tampa, Florida, in a strip club. Yes.
What do you think is
Curtis? What do you want? I need to know all the information so that I can make a proper judgment. Now,
now I need photos of this woman. No,
you said triple H?
Double. It says 69HH breasts were flung into his face. This is quotes. Knocking his head backwards during his bachelor party at Diamond Dolls, a club in Clearwater. In case you want to go there, guys. He wrote in his deposition that he felt that he had been hit and struck with 2 cement blocks.
Well, it is. Well, okay. So I'm not gonna make injecting cement jokes because that's There's a
crass
very sad
people.
story on. There's a very sad history on that. Look, this guy was on a bachelor party in a strip club. I bet he was probably pretty loose at the time. I think if he's trying to say he was lucid and really upset that she came and assaulted him with her jugs, maybe there's something there. But you're in a strip club, dude. What do you think she's gonna do with them?
Not hit her
She's gonna swing it in your
cement
face.
fucking trucks into your head.
Cement trucks.
What came out in the deposition is that he did take 3 months to then file the suit. Before bringing it up. So what is your? That's all the sentences in this thing. I have the verdict actually, but if you guys want to see what you guys came up close to.
I mean, Kaz, are we on the same page on this? I mean, if you're walking into a strip club, you might have to expect that there will be some titties in your face.
Knocking your head backwards?
Yeah. I feel like okay. What? So I'm gonna make an assumption, which I shouldn't do, but he was at a bachelor party. I'm gonna assume this man was drinking, like Bryce said. I'm gonna assume that he was drinking, and he probably incited and was a little bit too excited for what was happening, and was not in a relaxed enough state to accept bosom to face.
What if you go he gave 10% into it and then she gave 90% in, so then that's the breakdown for the amount of.
Because normally you just, I'm not gonna do it because somebody will fucking. But you usually just get that that side to side motion
show me.
kind of thing.
What's up?
Right? No. Just the swinging back and forth.
Work the shoulders.
I don't
work the shoulders.
I can't see, Kaz. I have no visual. I have no understanding what you're talking about. Can you?
It's an audio podcast.
Yeah. I'll record it.
Nah, I can't give it to him, man. I feel like I can't.
Yeah, she won. She won. None of the magnetic resonance imaging exams showed any injury.
Their MRIs.
Yeah.
So you know what? Once again, I'm going to make a further assumption. Here's what happened is he came back home and probably had a slight bruise on his face. And his wife was like, what happened? And one of his still probably drunk friends was like, he took a titty to the face.
She attacked me with her titties.
You saw when that girl hit you with her cement?
No, I was assaulted with her bosom, and I didn't want it, and she persisted and assaulted me. And then his wife probably got up in arms because she's a Karen, and she was like, what? Yeah, a woman hit you with her breast. We should sue her. And he couldn't calm her down because he's a cuck. And so he had to follow this fucking route.
And there's a world where these exact things happen, and you do get some sort of lasting bodily injury. That's a possibility. But if we're just talking about he got a bruise on his face the shape of a titty, that's not really an issue. You'll heal from that. That's not really damages. You're not going to get your tip back.
He just wants to see him again. That's the thing. I'll read the final word from the actual judge, which is kind of, I guess, my punchline. But he had to write in his deposition, the judge, that he definitely believed that breasts did hit him, but he is not convinced that they caused any injury.
Yeah,
it's the way you got to write that when you're a litigious judge running the thing.
Sure.
All right, that cuts off about half of the ones I had. Let's move on to games. Get this goddamn show over with.
Oh, yay! It's game time.
Hell yeah!
With Curly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Only on dkgWELP.
We're gonna make it to the end. I swear.
What's the game segment?
Let's do this shit. Yeah, no, I love that little bit. I've been workshopping that for a while. It's been in my list of things, so we'll do more of that as time comes on. But for now, we're gonna move on to the game that I steal completely from my other sources, which is my local radio station. Bryce, I don't know if you've been here for any of this or have seen this bit, or at least heard it, I guess, if you listen to the podcast.
The games, yeah, you do the games near the end of the show.
Well, so this has been based off of a thing called that we call, or not we, but they call Summer School. The idea is that one of the producers at the radio station has a daughter. She's like 2-ish, maybe 3. She basically talks like if you've ever been around like really young kids, they kind of have their own language that they're working through.
Yeah, they talk like idiots.
They got mush mouth. Yeah,
morons.
and instead of trying to cure it or give language lessons, we decided to exploit it and make it a game on a podcast on the internet. So basically, I'm gonna play you a clip of this kid trying to say a word, and you need to tell me with a buzz in what the word is.
Okay.
The reason I asked you in the pre-show, okay, so I took my time because I run out of prep time for podcasts, and so I took my time and made a bunch of these into saved files that I cut from the actual show, and I leave them in folders. That's why I asked you, how is your Oscar knowledge? Because this one's from back in February. When the Oscars was on everybody's mind.
Okay.
The reason I'm deciding to do this one though is it's not necessarily related to the actual Oscars. This is just basically every clue or every word here is a movie that has won an Oscar at some point in life.
Okay.
So they're yeah. This is why I waited for a guest because Kaz can't do this one alone.
Okay, cool. So it's me and Kaz against the kids. We got this, Kaz.
You guys want to do it where you guys team up and then try to beat chat because you got like a 4-second head start. Try to beat chat on this.
Let's do that.
Be nice, chat. If you know it, maybe give a beat before saying it. Or actually, you guys just don't look at chat. That's as simple as that. Problem solved. Chat can say it.
There we go.
I will start with God. These are so out of order. Very simply start with this one. Again, just buzz in with your name. That's all. What is she trying to say? Oscar movie.
Booty.
They're also a little blown out, and that's not my fault. That's the radio station.
One more time.
Booty.
Taking booty, taking.
It's like a
booty,
missing
3.
vowel at the start.
Booty.
Rudy? No.
I should have started with this one. This is hard.
Taking booty, shaking booty.
Very close. Very close. Off. Both words. 2 words.
Making movies.
God, he's so close. Both words are wrong.
Kaz. Oh.
Booty.
She's a horrible mush mouth. I apologize.
Breaking booty.
Greg Moody? Head.
I'm gonna have to call the time on a minute. That is
Booty.
American Beauty.
Shut up. Stupid kid.
What?
No.
Don't you
Idiot
dare.
children. Get out of here. Stupid moron mouth. Talk better.
Moron mouth. All right, your next clue, because we're speeding through them.
Twix.
Never mind, we're not doing that one. That one doesn't make any damn fucking sense. God damn it, I'm trying to get an easy
Play it
one.
again. Play it again. No. Fuck this. Come on.
We'll save this one.
Yeah.
You guys are not going to get it ever.
No, you already played it.
A million
you already
points.
Fucking played it.
A million points.
Fucking played it.
Twix.
I was talking.
Twix.
All of the words have become one word for her. There's 4 of the words. 2 of them are articles.
The Fast and the Furious.
That's a lot more words.
Twix.
You guys can't get
Shawshank Redemption. Smokey and the Bandit. What is an Oscar? I don't know what wins Oscars.
AI, the artificial
Moonlight.
intelligence.
Close.
The Sixth Sense.
No.
No. I'm not looking at the chat.
Lady in the Water.
The chat doesn't have it. You can look at the chat all you want.
Lady and the Tramp.
No one's gonna get this one. This is dumb.
I don't think Lady and the Tramp is an Oscar.
Twix.
Maybe the last one's fine. It starts with the right letter and it ends with the right sound.
Make an Alaska. Take an Alaska.
There was 3
Homeward
of them.
Bound.
There's 3 words.
Trilogy. No, movies.
Oh, it's the Chronicles of Riddick. Is it the Chronicles of Riddick?
Twix.
Could be.
It's not the Matrix.
Not the Matrix.
The Matrix Reloaded?
It's Lord of the fucking Rings. Jesus.
Twix.
It's not your fault. You're never going to
Stupid
get that.
children. Dumb idiot mouth. No.
Last week she was talking so much better.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is earlier, and this is definitely blown out. Some of them are. They're not all this bad.
Apparently, Steve got it.
Oh, Steve did it? Steve
Apparently
got it. Steve had it. All right. Fuck, I didn't see it. Well done,
Oh,
Steve.
yeah, he did have it.
All right, next clue.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
What's your buzzer, Bryce?
Bryce.
Hey.
Bryce. Forrest Gump. It's Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Hey.
Well done, sir. Got one on the board. Let's try. Oof.
Moonlight.
Kaz.
Kaz.
Moonlight.
Moonlight.
Yeah,
Well
I just said
done.
it a couple minutes ago. It's the only movie I know that's won an Oscar because it had gay black people in it.
Okay,
Or
Steve.
something. I don't remember what the fuck that movie is about.
What'd you just say? What have I argued about?
No.
Okay. Next clue.
Godfather.
The Godfather.
Kaz.
Bryce. The Godfather.
Ooh, I heard Bryce's name first. I mean, Kaz's name first.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
We're on the
Bryce
same
said it.
team.
The Godfather.
Godfather.
Your next clue.
We got this.
Co-worker.
Ooh, I hear it.
One more time.
Co-worker.
Soraka.
Tool
Co-worker.
Rocker. Bo Rocca.
Cloaca.
Co-worker.
Now that's all you hear now.
Co-worker. Godfather.
Co-worker.
It's so clear as day. Clear
The
as
Rock.
Oh, I don't know. Is it
Cliffhanger.
close?
Is it what?
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
No.
Co-worker.
It's all
Code.
there.
Cold Walker. Cold Walker.
You're my favorite Oscar movie, Cold Walker. It's close. Code Talker. My favorite Metal Gear Solid game.
Ooh. Oh, I don't think I have it.
Chat, do you got it?
Cold Walker. Wind Waker.
Co-worker.
Cold.
Road Warrior.
It is Hurt Locker.
Ah, stupid child.
Co-worker.
I don't know
Baby.
Oscar movies, dude.
Stupid babies.
Wasn't that directed by somebody's wife that isn't their wife anymore?
I don't know.
Damn,
Alright,
has deep dive.
I just did that. I just did that thing.
Listen, she has a genetic disorder. Help.
Co-worker.
Kurt Locker. Fine.
Kurt Rocker.
Kurt.
Dumb baby.
Next clue.
All right.
Driving to Stacy.
Oh,
Bryce.
Kaz.
Driving mistake.
Bryce.
Yeah.
Driving to Stacy.
Now you feel bad for making fun of this young thing. Right.
No. Are we tied? Well, I want to win. I want to beat this.
If you want score, you got to
That's
keep
this
it
game.
yourself, my man. You were working together a second ago.
Yeah. I mean against the kid. I think together. I think we are close. I think it's a close game. I think this is the closest game in DKG history.
When you said kid, I assumed the chat. I assumed the kids.
No.
All right, next clue.
No, but yeah, we are beating John.
Sorry, I couldn't stop it. One more again.
Shape of water.
The Shape of Water.
Kaz.
Kaz.
Yeah. Shape of Water. What Ray says. Yeah.
Name is your buzzer.
Bueno.
It's the one rule. How long have you been on the show?
Look, but you can't. Okay.
It's the one. It's the whole bit is around it. Next
Okay.
clue.
And it's pension.
Anger.
You got it. You got most of it.
And it's pension.
Bryce.
Bryce. Anger management.
And it's pension.
Sounds like she's saying pension.
Yeah. I'm just paying.
Put it all together. You got it.
Angry pension? Hangry pension? Hangry. The movie, the documentary. Morgan Spurlock.
Drafty Games got it.
And it's pension.
English patient.
That's not a movie, you stupid idiot baby child. That movie doesn't exist.
These are her
You can't
favorite
make up
movies.
films. Yeah, you can't make up films.
Can we get a classic between the two of you? Let's go, clue.
The music.
Ignore the first
Bryce?
part. You got the rest of it. Go, Bryce.
Bryce.
The Sound of Music?
Yes.
Listen to that stumble.
Sound music.
That's most of it.
Sound. She just said sound music. You couldn't get the really in there. So sound music.
Oscar-winning movies said by a 3-year-old. Let's go.
Schindler's List.
Cats.
Yes.
Schindler's List, baby.
Schindler's List.
Good. Want to talk about a good date movie?
Schindler's
Having
Wrist.
a child say this.
You missed the one where we did
Yeah.
alternate words for the word fart. That was fun. This one might be a little close to home, so good luck.
King's Fate.
Oh,
Bryce.
she didn't even finish it. Go ahead, Bryce.
The King's Speech.
Damn! She needs to take some lessons from that movie.
King's
That mumble
Fate.
mouth.
Wow. That's not shit on where we get free bits from.
Your next movie.
Kayega.
Kaz.
Some of these are bad. Kaz.
Highlander.
Ooh, so close. Help has taken it, but Bryce isn't looking, so I'll give it to him.
Oh,
Kayega.
Kylie Minogue can't get you out of my head.
Oh my God! How did he get? No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kayega.
Gladiator. You didn't hear that?
Chill.
Kayega.
Also, how the fuck is Highlander close to Gladiator, dude?
Same idea.
Get the fuck out of my... No!
They ended ER.
They the same amount of syllables. Highlander.
ER?
ER, same thing.
Well, no, so.
Speaking of another
Bullfrog.
Bullfrog?
Bullfrog.
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 Bofa these nuts.
Bofa.
Bullfrog.
Oh. One more time.
Bullfrog.
She says it right at the end. You hear that last it?
Bullfrog.
Bowfinger? Blow.
Ends in a T.
Bullfighter?
Ends in a T.
Blow.
You can hear her say it.
Bullfrog.
Blow.
Bullflop. Bullflop.
Bofa.
Bullfrog.
No one in chat? Come on, guys. You guys all have this one. This one's easy. You hear it.
I know one of you motherfuckers just have a list of Oscar movies up on your fucking screen, you cheating little bitches. I love you, chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the show. I don't know, dude. I really don't know.
It is.
All I hear is
Up.
Frog.
Is it Up?
Yeah. No, it's Braveheart.
Bullfrog.
Curtis just literally used a Braveheart emote in the chat.
Your next one.
Is that a Braveheart? No, that's not a Braveheart emote. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is anymore.
I think that's Kylo Ren.
I think so too.
Godzilla.
A little bit of vocal fry at the end there for no reason. She does that every now and then. Just focus on the first part. You get the rest of it.
Godzilla. Godzilla.
That's a rap? Day of Defeat Source?
Day of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead? Shaun of the Dead.
What's another thing you can do with the dead?
Godzilla.
Things that aren't legal?
The Walking Dead? No.
Talking Dead? With Chris Hemsworth? I don't know, dude. Fucking Dead.
World War Z.
Dead.
It's you guys want it? You guys want it?
Coco.
It's Dances with Wolves.
That's bad.
What does that have to do with the dead, dude?
Godzilla.
You're just saying things you could do with dead, and I was like, other things, dances. Chris Hemsworth.
That's bad. Wild.
How do you fucking see your damn boards? Your
a
next
couple
clue.
more.
We're almost done.
One
Birdman.
more.
Oh, Bryce.
Go, Bryce.
Birdman.
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 Your next
Sorry,
one.
Chicago.
There's a lot of extra vowels in there.
Oh,
A lot of extra words,
Kaz.
syllables.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Sincaria.
What?
Chicago.
No, is that Sicario?
Bryce, you
Bryce.
want to fix this for him?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Sicario did not win an Oscar.
Sicario.
It sounds like she's saying Sicario, dude.
Come on. You guys got this. Carry on.
Project.
Oof.
One more time.
It's a hard start.
Project.
Oh, Bryce.
Bryce.
The Departed?
Project.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I think she's the pillow got hit or the mic got hit.
Departed.
Your next clue.
Shape of the wolf.
3 words.
Shape of the wolf?
Bryce?
Shape of wolf.
Bryce.
Shape of Water again?
No.
Shape of the wolf.
Shakespeare's wolf.
Shakespeare in Love.
Shape of the wolf.
He's getting his footing. Bryce is getting his footing. We have like 4 more. All right.
Okay.
Just do 2. Don't do all 4.
Wingman.
I prepared these. We're doing them.
Wingman.
Do it again.
Wingman.
Wingman?
Close.
Wingman.
What's one that
Hangman?
sounds like that, but is also a fucking Oscar movie?
The Wicker Man?
Play again.
Wingman.
Toothpicks.
Oh.
Definitely.
Oh, Rain Man.
Okay, I saw it.
Rain Man.
Wingman.
Next one.
Walkie.
That's easy. It was mentioned earlier,
Cat.
but not the way that you said it. Go ahead, Kaz.
Walking tall.
Walkie.
Walking.
I hear fuck you.
Walking
Walkie.
tall.
It's not. No, Kaz. No, and no.
Walk hard?
It's Rocky.
Walkie.
Who said Rocky? No one said fucking
No one said
Rocky,
Rocky.
dude.
Sour and wet.
What? One more time?
Sour and wet.
We'll write a game, Gabby. If you want me on the receiving end, I'll do it.
Sauron's Wrath?
Sour and wet.
So you've seen this movie, Clarice.
Oh, I just saw it in the chat.
Sour and wet.
Okay, we can end there. Fuck you guys.
Silence of the Lambs.
Last 2, I'll just throw them out for our own.
Stangok. Melodo.
I don't know that one.
Slumdog
Sangak
Millionaire.
Melodo?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Stangok. Melodo.
And Titanic.
Okay.
Titanic. Titanic.
That's an easy one.
So you play this game every week, huh?
You know what? When you find a good, like
That
an
was
oil
fun.
spill of bit, you need to use it a lot. It's great. You just smear it all over the place. But as always, that has been our show, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I'm not doing the email section. That's why there's a weird pause here where I'm contemplating hitting it for no reason, and I was checking my email. But yeah, I absolutely love the Game Master section of the show. I would love to be a player on it, and you guys can definitely make fun of me and see how bad I am at any trivia whatsoever. Unlike the Bryce here, who decides to just power through and destroy everything and make it great.
I should bring a Night Attack game. We've made so many games for Night Attack. Next time we come on, I'll bring the game. How about that?
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it a lot more exciting, so I don't have to do work. I like that. Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you to Bryce for being on the show this week. Like I said, please, if for some reason you're here and you didn't hear the beginning of this show, go check out Trending Lemon, which is Bryce's podcast. You can find it at trendinglemon.com. gmail.com. Also go and check out Night Attack, which Bryce is the producer for. It's a long-running podcast that me and Curly have been fans of for some time, and they're good guys over there. So definitely go check that out as well. They have a really good, fun community that you can also be a part of. And Discord, which I said before. Join the Discord. There are links down below if you're listening to this later in the podcast version, or if you are here in the live chat, just hit bang Discord, and it'll have all the information so that you can do so.
Yeah, thank you guys for everything. Seriously, follow Bryce. Outside of his shows that we love and know, we're pimping him extremely because I absolutely love this man more than anything, and you should hang out with him. If you don't
Thanks
know
for having
him,
me on, guys. I always have so much fun on this podcast. This is my favorite podcast to do. Thank you guys for having me on.
What if we just
I, of course, made it run long again. It ran long, right?
It's under 2 hours. We still got 8 minutes so we can just fucking burn. What is our longest episode? Like 3 hours or some shit, or 4 almost? Like, I don't know. There's a spreadsheet somewhere.
There's some long ones in there.
I mean, it was probably the one that we split into 2 completely different episodes, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, there was one that was like a portion of it, I think, was just talking about an event or something, and then we ended up going to actual episode. But anyways, I love everything about it. It's never a problem. If only there was some way we could make it so that we could do podcasts for a living all day long.
If only there was a website like patreon.com.
I will play this.
We should probably do what they did and go through and just reconfigure the Patreon.
I agree.
To make it fit more for what we do now.
I agree.
What we did then.
I say this every time we talk about it, but I would love to. But anyways, for what it's worth, thank you guys for supporting it in all of the broken amalgams that it is currently of the shows that me and Kaz do, and Bryce does, and everyone does. So catch you later. We'll be in the Discord. I don't know when this ends. I got 20 seconds left. I can keep talking. Hey! Just watch Bryce dance. Enjoy the audio. Enjoy the video. Thanks for following the channel. Bye.